logic. I'ma take it to the coffin, just being honest. Never let a manufacture stack like that. And if we getting toxic, tell the boy fall back. If it was back then, I'd be tripping off that. Took a little time just to get me on track.
We are sandwiched between Fort Worth and Dallas, Texas, and Arlington at the luxurious AT&T Stadium. Today, after a crazy opening weekend, it's on to week 2, and we've got a good one here between the Cincinnati Bengals and the Dallas Cowboys. Team set to lace it up. This ought to be fun, and we're underway on EA Sports. This will be fielded inside the 5. And beyond the 20, but not by much. In fact, just a yard pass there to the 21. It didn't take long to see our first penalty of the game, did it?
We always talk about everyone wanting to get into the game in a hurry. The officials did as well.
Now on first down. He gets this in the hands of Mixon. And this will leave him a yard short. Nice pickup of 9 yards on first down.
Well, they use him a lot out of the backfield. He had 5 catches a week ago, and he makes another catch here for good yardage.
A first carry for the former Oklahoma Sooner, Joe Mixon. And for a second straight play, that Cowboy defense gets him to the ground behind the line of scrimmage.
Partner, one thing I was lousy at growing up, track and field, I could never anticipate the start before a race, but how about that backer? He figured it out, jumped the count, and turned it into a really nice play for his defense.
Third play of this opening drive as they're looking at a 3rd and 3.
On the 50, that you block over here.
They give to Mixon to try to pick it up. And they'll blow that one up back at the 16-yard line. Nothing doing on 2nd and 3rd down after that 9-yard gain on first. And so much for picking it up on the ground on 3rd down. 3rd play of the drive, and this defense showing strong early.
I wonder how much of that was scouting. I wonder how much of that was a gut feeling like, okay, let's just go ahead and sell out here and get after them, thinking they're going to run the football and stump them early, because they've now set the tone. They've set a precedent right here. If you're going to try and run the ball against us, it could be hard going throughout this game.
They'll go with Pollard here on first down. And a good burst there right from the start as he'll get this one out near the 35. 13 yards and a first down, Cowboys.
Well, there's plenty of real estate for him to maneuver on that run, and let's face it, it shouldn't be a surprise. He's one of the better backs in the league. Had to come into this game with the idea, slow him down, otherwise it's going to be a long afternoon.
It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4. The Cowboys had 0-1 in the year following the loss in the opener, and they were given a gift of 2 straight home games to start the campaign. Dropped one of them already. You have to figure a split of these two probably imperative.
And they did talk about that with us prior to the game, about how important it is to start the season 1-1, especially with 2 games at home. Because if you go 0-2, hard to make those up on the road as the season progresses.
On 3rd down, it's Prescott. He's got Lewis. And they're going to get this down inside the 15. Well, on third down, he wanted to go to one of his most dependable targets, and that's who he found, his tight end there, to pick up the first, Charles.
And you use the proper word there, dependable, and sometimes spectacular, because tight ends nowadays, they can do it all. But they're the guys you trust, especially across the middle of the field where there's traffic. He delivers, and they pick up nice yardage.
And not able to break away this time as they're going to stop him right around the line of scrimmage. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11. And there'll be a break in the action here because Prescott is going to use a timeout. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter. On 2nd and 11 now. Prescott. That's complete right around the 8. That'll give him 8 that time. And this will wind up being a 3rd and 3.
And I think this is a route we'll see more of as this game goes on, because with his speed, they want to get him the ball in space on drag routes just like this. They want him to get the ball and run after the catch. Good job there, though, holding him for a short gain.
And oh, he's just going to be short here, barely, maybe by a half a foot. It'll be 4th and inches. They'll run forward with Pollard. And this will depend on the mark. I'm not sure he pushed the line forward. And indeed, he did not. They stop him. They'll get neither the touchdown nor the first down. And it'll be a turnover on downs. The Bengals drive about to get going. They're going to have to go at least 50, 60 yards here if they want to ensure that they don't have to punt the ball like they did last time.
Yeah, so what you're saying is we're not playing to just get out of the shadow of your own goal line, right? You're playing to make sure the punter doesn't see the field again. So it's not picking up a couple of first downs. You want to pick up 5 or 6 first downs and make sure you move the ball into their territory.
Oh, that's into a double team, and it's intercepted. And the Cowboys are going to take possession of the football. Unfortunately for him, if last week was any indication, we knew a pick was coming at some point. Last week it was interception after interception, and here we go again.
We actually quit counting last week at a certain point because I thought I was going to run out of fingers, all right, because I'm not all that skilled as a mathematician. But you're right. It felt like a matter of time, and you got to think the guys on defense, they couldn't wait for this opportunity after what they saw on tape.
Meanwhile, Dak's throw taken in there by Cooks. Touchdown, Cowboys! Brandon Cooks, his first touchdown here of the new campaign. And the Cowboys use the early turnover to get on the board first here in this one. Rodrigo Blankenship now for the PAT. And this is up and good to make it 7-0 Cowboys. So after the touchdown, here's Blankenship kicking off. Taken in at the 3. And he will be brought down here inside the 20. Good coverage as he's dropped at the 17. The Bengals drive about to get going. And for this offense, Charles, you got to think kind of crucial here to put something together on this drive because remember last time out they threw the interception on the very first play.
And you can't afford to let this defense keep building any more momentum. They're playing awfully well and they're awfully confident right now. To me, it's time to attack and take some of that momentum back. But make sure you're selective in doing so. Understand where you want to throw the football and make sure it's open before the ball leaves your hands. No doubt about it. A really nice job there by the defense, not allowing him to get to the perimeter. But that means your defensive ends, your outside linebackers, the guys that you pay big money to sack the quarterback, they also have to have interest in the running game as well. And they did a nice job there of holding the point of attack and not giving ground.
They try to throw on second down, but this one is incomplete.
They'll put a check mark in the box where the defense coordinator was saying, how well can we stay with these receivers if we're in man coverage? Because he just did it on that one, forced the incompletion. That'll allow him to get bolder with his pass rush, won't it?
Absolutely. Frees up your guys elsewhere. After an incomplete pass on second down, that'll leave him trying to convert on 3rd and 9. And now the Cowboys are going to call another timeout. And that's their second charge timeout here in this first quarter. They're down to 1 remaining. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down.
Box it, box it, box it, box it. Number 50 that you block over here. Back over. 26. Hey, 88.
Throwing now is Rodgers.
A throw for Boyd, but it's intercepted.
Picked up by Leighton Vander Esch. And the Cowboys are going to take possession of the football.
Well, they're certainly not giving much up to their defense, are they? Because for the second time now, that D has had to run back out on the field early after an interception. And remember, on the last drive, the opposing side took it in for 6 after that interception.
Pollard going to try the right side. And he's taken down after a gain of 3 as they move it from the 22 to the 19. Not a whole lot there. The defense was ready, it looked, for that run-pass option.
You get the sense that next time he has that opportunity, he may keep it himself and get to the perimeter. Probably owes his back a little bit of an apology on that one, huh?
Throw right side going to be caught by Hardman. Yeah, the Cowboys are going to have a 1st and goal as the tackle is made at about the 5. After 1, 7-0 on EA Sports. They run straight ahead here with Pollard. And he will take it in for a Cowboy score. Tony Pollard, his 2nd rushing touchdown on the year. And the Cowboys have taken a 2-touchdown lead now. Blankenship out for the point after. And it's good to make it 14-0. So after the touchdown, here's Blankenship kicking off. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. The Bengals drive about to get going. They're still in search of an initial 1st down as they come up here 1st and 10. Throwing to start the drive, but that one incomplete. Fair to say, hasn't been his best game throwing the football, but also not getting a lot of help out there either.
Yeah, you nailed it pretty well, you know. He's got to throw it better. Got to get more help. Obviously one that should have been caught. They've got to find a way to bring those 2 elements together so they can make some progress in this one.
Now this one complete downfield on the left side. And they'll get it all the way up about 5 yards shy of midfield. First target, first catch, and a 1st down.
Well, these guys have definitely been outplayed in the first half. I like their countenance. I like the way that they're having panicked out there, the way they're carrying themselves. They're starting to move the ball, and what you have to do, maintain your poise and start to put together some drives.
Mixon with a 1st down carry, and he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. 2nd down.
Yeah, I don't know if it's exactly a win-win, but if you're on offense, you'll take that kind of a run, all right? It was kind of stacked up, found a little bit of yardage, and frankly, they're pretty close to staying on schedule on offense. The playbook is still open for the coordinator.
3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7. Again, it's Mixon. And he's got this one across midfield into Cowboy territory. Call it a gain of 5 there on the run, but they'll remain a yard or two short here with third down coming up.
Even though they gave up more than they wanted to on that play, it actually illustrates how well they've bottled them up throughout the game because that was his longest run of this contest.
They'll come to the line needing only 2 yards to gain the first here. And Rodgers intercepted a third time. Picked off by the linebacker, Joe Schobert. And the Cowboys are going to take possession of the football. I'm not sure that the wheels, Charles, are coming completely off, but they're shaking a little bit. That's 3 interceptions, and now interceptions here on back-to-back drives.
And I think about what a Hall of Fame coach told me that he always told his teams, when a mistake happens, just move on to the next play. Let it go. Hard to do when you've thrown this many interceptions. That's exactly the attitude that has to be adopted.
Now a give here to Pollard. A gain of 3, second down.
He did have the touchdown run earlier, but not a heck of a lot more than that throughout this game.
No, not at all. In fact, I would say that this defense has done as good of a job on him as they have on any runner in recent memory. The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7. Prescott. And this ball is caught by Lamb. Touchdown, Dallas. 2 first-half touchdown passes now for Dak Prescott. And the Cowboys are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead. So after the disappointment in the opening week loss, Charles, this looks like really a completely different football team.
They sure do, and I think they realize we can't start 0-2. And they're determined to not let it happen by the looks of things here in the early going.
Extra point by Blankenship is up and good. And that makes the score 21-0. So after the touchdown, here's Blankenship kicking off. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. The Bengals drive about to get going.
Well, CD, you kind of feel like they're in a bit of a danger zone right here because now you're down 3 scores, and I know we're in the first half, but...
And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. And the Cowboys are going to take possession of the football. Well, and I saw the pressure coming at him. That just looked problematic. Hit him as he threw it, and the interception ensued.
Let me pay homage to the man who stood in this spot before. He always talked about how much pressure is in the face of a guy, and can he step into a throw? And when you can't do that, oftentimes interceptions result.
So here's a 1st and 10 now, down inside the 20. Up the middle, Jones. And they've got it inside the 10 at the 8. It's a good gain of 11. Sets him up 1st and goal.
Not too shabby for his first carry of the game. That's exactly what most teams are looking for. A really good change of pace back.
It'll be a handoff to Pollard. And from the 9, they get this to the 5-yard line.
That's good power football on 1st and goal. A lot of teams will throw from there, but that's a nice job to chew up a few more yards and get yourself closer to the goal line.
And the ball smack dab on the 5-yard line. Here's 2nd and goal. Gonna run again here with Pollard. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Cowboy touchdown. Tony Pollard with his 2nd touchdown here in this first half. And the Cowboys are able to widen their lead here in this first half.
So he's had a nose for the end zone here in the early part of this season. 2 touchdowns for him now in this one to go along with the one he had in the opener as well.
Yeah, he certainly finds where the goal line is and finds a way to get across it. But you know who else senses it? The guys that block for him. Because he has that instinct, I think they hope it blocks just a little bit longer.
So after the touchdown, here's Blankenship kicking off. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. The Bengals drive about to get going. They are looking to make a bit of a 180. They are sputtering right now.
And frankly, I think it's time to call your playmakers together and say, all right, guys, we're going to lean on you through this patch. We need you to get us back on track and get us going in the right direction. So you're calling plays geared to them. Not necessarily when you look at your plays, oh, this hurts the defense. I want the ball in the hands of X, Y, and Z and see if we can move forward.
So don't get too cute. Go to the playmakers. The big play to start him out has him at the 45 already. Mixing up the middle. On a determined run there as he's going to take this all the way down near the 40. They'll get 14 on that one. Good for a Bengal first down.
Exactly what they needed right there because they needed to use the ground game to take some pressure off because the quarterback's been struggling a little bit.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. They'll send a receiver in motion left. Back to Mixon on 1st down. Oh, he's got a little daylight. Past the 20. And all the way in for a Cincinnati score.
I'm not sure that they have illusions right now of, okay, we're going to score 8 times in a row and we're going to be terrific. But to get one, that was huge for them. That has to feel much better right now.
And you do have, we're still in the first half. You do have the entire second half. There's something about that goose egg that just looked bad on that board, but now they've broken it.
Yeah, broken through. Can they maintain the pace? We'll see as we go along.
After the touchdown, McPherson on to kick this one away. A little too amped up there, got to him before he had a chance to catch it.
Another example of players in tough spots getting the protection that they deserve. Got to make sure that he's able to catch the ball before you get to him.
Here's Pollard, and this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage on the play back at the 46. A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. Looking to throw. Prescott. It's complete to Watt. And they'll wind up getting this to the 37. Gain of 9.
Well, they've certainly spread the ball around so far, but they're definitely getting everyone involved now when you're throwing it to the fullback. It just shows how versatile this offense is and how everyone is a threat.
3rd and short yardage. Prescott. He's got it. Puts it on the carpet. It's out. And the Bengals grab it. And his guys are going to take over at the 34-yard line. Charles, he lost a fumble last week as well. So now back-to-back weeks, maybe you expect that from your tailback, but not him.
You're exactly right because you work a lot with your running backs about how they have to protect the ball in traffic. But downfield in open space, that's dangerous as well because you may make someone miss and their flailing hand can knock the ball away if you don't tuck it away.
Akeem Hicks that time on the tackle.
Yeah, things were pretty stacked up there in the middle of the line. A lot of bodies, not much space. I think ultimately he was fortunate to get anything out of that run.
And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. Multiple players combined for their team's first sack of the game.
3 scores down, not even a halftime yet. They are not getting much generated offensively. They've got to figure it out.
It's tough because this defense just seems to be playing with so much confidence right now.
They really are. They are on their toes, and they're getting at them.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. He finds his running back, Mixon. Now the Bengals going to use the first of their timeouts, as it comes with 22 seconds to go here in half number 1.
There's another example what defensive coaches constantly preach, not allowing any run after the catch. They give up a few more yards than they wanted to, but they were able to get him down quickly and force a 4th down.
They run for it with Mixon, and he's got the first down as he's up to the 45-yard line. Now another timeout called for by the offense, so that means they're down to 1 remaining here as we head toward halftime. The 4th down run successful. Now they look to pay it off on 1st down. Now Rodgers on the bootleg. That's caught by the tight end, Irv Smith Jr. Now here's a timeout as they're going to get it with 8 seconds remaining here in the first half. The Bengals passing game finding a rhythm. They've got another first.
Now that's the kind of big play you'd like to see. This first half, it hasn't gone their way, and they could use a shot in the arm, something to perk them up a bit. And they get one here in the passing game.
And this one will not get there. It's off to the left anyway. It's no good, and this will stay a 3-touchdown game.
McPherson, as a rookie last year, made a league-leading 9 kicks from 50-plus yards and added to it in the playoffs with some other big kicks to help propel his team to the Super Bowl. But that time, unable to convert.
And this is caught for a Cowboy touchdown. 3 touchdown passes now for Dak Prescott. And the Cowboys would extend their lead here just before halftime. And just before the half ends, the prayer is answered defensively. A disaster there.
I know often we're surprised when this actually works. I mean, the excitement level goes way up, but maybe we shouldn't be, because I know as a defender, you've got to play the ball in this situation, but you can't interfere with the receiver because, remember, it's a spot foul, and it'd be 1st and goal if it happens in the end zone, and you don't want to give up that play. Now, a little bit of hesitancy often works really well for offensive guys.
So we have come to halftime here in Dallas with the Cowboys out in front. As we'll get you over to Orlando, where standing by is Jonathan Coachman. He has our EA Sports halftime report. Welcome back. Halftime over. We are ready for quarter number 3. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. The Cowboys will get the football first here, and they have the lead as well as we are underway in quarter 3. And a fair catch taken here right at about the 40-yard line. About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense. And it's hard to imagine that the first half could have gone any better for them. So what's the approach here in the second half?
Just continue to play smart football, because they get the other team down and they feel good about the position they're in. The obvious thing people would say is just keep attacking, but I think you also have to be smart about it. Avoid turnovers. That's about the only thing that can derail you at this point. Attack, but make sure you take care of the ball.
So 1st and 10, and if they score on this drive, might have to start digging in our second half blowout material. Here's Pollard again, and he'll get this into enemy territory, but not by much, as he's down to the 48. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
That felt like a trap, because it looked to me like the opposing front was on that play from the get-go. They had everyone crashing the ball carrier before he even made the line, and they hold him to just a yard.
The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9. From the shotgun, it's Prescott. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
Well, that's a good piece of quarterbacking right there because he certainly felt the pressure coming. The alternative, getting sacked for the first time. He didn't like that option at all. Did a nice job saving yardage by throwing that one away.
And they'll need the 39 here for a first. This is 3rd down. The Bengal pressure gets him that time. Down he goes. Finally hauled down for the first time this game. Multiple defenders in there to drop him.
To me, the defense was looking a little gassed near the end of the first half, but they've come out of the locker room with a little extra spring in their step. Wonder what they did at halftime to get them so motivated.
I don't know, but that sack looked good. Now let's see if they can build on the momentum of that play. On 4th down, the punt team is on as this is sent away. And this will hit just beyond the goal line as it's into the end zone for a touchback. The Bengals drive about to get going.
CD, they certainly know the hole that they face as they begin the second half. They have to do what precious few teams have done in NFL history. That's try to come back from a 4-possession deficit.
And now here is another interception. Picked off by Stephon Gilmore.
And the Cowboys are going to take possession of the football.
I think you and I were a little surprised back earlier in the game when he threw his 2nd interception. I mean, who would have thought a quarterback of his caliber picked now 5 times?
It's beyond stunning to me because we're used to that with maybe a quarterback with less experience or less talent. But a quarterback of his caliber, I can't believe what we've just seen.
Absolutely. If you would have told me this coming into the ball game, I would have said never, not in a million years. But here we go. Give him a couple on the carry there. 2nd and 8.
They suspected it was a power play up the middle coming at them, and boy, were they right. That defense got downhill in a hurry and limited them to just a couple on 1st down.
Throwing on 2nd and 8. Prescott. And that is caught. Touchdown, Cowboys. Dak Prescott had 4 touchdown passes on the afternoon.
And the Cowboys have taken a 5-touchdown lead. So, Charles, the bad taste from that opening week loss, that's just a memory now. This has been a very strong performance as they score once again.
Yeah, I know it's only week 2, but you're exactly right because this team thought they let one get away in the opener. And not only were they determined to not let the same thing happen here, they knew that they had to correct a bunch of things. So everything that went wrong in game 1, they took care of business with it in game 2.
So after the touchdown, here's Blankenship kicking off.
And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. The Bengals drive about to get going.
Well, we're still in the 3rd quarter, so there's some time to kind of clean this up and make it look more respectable now. Or win, that's probably gone out the window, Charles. But I don't know. Do you look at this as a time to just improve and maybe start to look towards the future?
I think you have to find something to play for, something to grasp onto until the clock runs out. But, Brandon, we've been around this game a long time. This is an outlier. You don't get many blowouts like this no matter how the game looks on paper going in. This one has turned out to be everyone's worst nightmare realized.
And they're able to get this one across the 35. 2nd catch for him today, and it'll wind up a 1st down.
There's a nice pickup right there, and after watching that play, I'm thinking about all the lost opportunities that they've had so far in this game. But right now, just focus on continuing to move the ball the way they did on the last play.
line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. Here's Rodgers. Goes right back to Smith again. And a 6-yard gain gets him right around the 43. That's a staple of this offense. Drag route to the tight end.
Yeah, he's unable to use his size to break off much more yardage after the catch, but still an effective gain nonetheless.
Line of scrimmage, the 43 on 2nd and 4. And a flag comes in as that one falls incomplete. Well, let's see who this is on. And this one complete to Smith. The result, only 4 yards there on the play. And it brings up 3rd and 5 now.
I know sometimes we can get fooled when we watch him make catches, as we just saw him do there, because he really looks like a wide receiver the way he goes about his business.
Yeah, 230, 240 range.
Yeah, not super huge. Maybe not counted on to be that inline point-of-attack blocker that we used to have in the good old days. But you can flex him out. You can run wide receiver routes with him. You can make him a primary target, and that's how he'll shred a defense.
26. Hey, 88. Jim.
To throw is Rodgers. He'll find his running back, Joe Mixon. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. And that goes for a gain of 31.
A very nice job right there, working the middle of the field, able to create some separation, and then utilize it to not just make the catch, but turn upfield once he got the ball in his hands.
And my goodness, another interception. Picked up by Trayvon Diggs. Well, all I can do up here is just shake my head. I mean, 6 interceptions. I cannot imagine what he's thinking between the ears right now.
Well, just think of how it is for his teammates, because after the first few, you know they're going over to him, hey, we'll get them next time. Now they're probably a little bit frustrated. And if you're a receiver, you're thinking to yourself, any ball that's in the air, you become receiver and defensive back. You've got to go compete for the ball so that you don't get another one picked off.
58 yards rushing for him now with a couple of touchdown runs to boot. So they'll come up after the gain of 7 on a 2nd and 3. He'll get this one into the hands of Lewis. And he gets this up just shy of the 30 to the 29 before he's out of bounds. Well, as a lineman, they are trained. You've got to stay close to home. If you're more than a yard downfield, they're going to toss that flag, and they did there. On play action, Prescott. Catch is made by Hardman. And mark him down way up close to the 40 at the 39. A gain there of 21 yards. Things looking much rosier for them here in week 2. They work with the lead as they've got it 1st and 10. Taking a deep shot here for Hardman. And that is caught at the 10-yard line. A big play here for Dallas. 54 yards. But Dak Prescott, probably not the first name you think of in terms of strongest arms in the NFL, but he showed it off there.
And he made that look effortless, didn't he? I mean, he's had a great game throwing the football. This is going to add to his yardage total in a big way. It's one thing to be accurate on your short and intermediate throws, but when you're hitting the bombs like those, look out.
And that one spanning an even 65 yards in the air, according to Next Gen Stats. So 3 plays, already 1st and goal, and they are wasting little time. Run for Pollard. And he is into the end zone for a Cowboy touchdown. Tony Pollard, his 3rd touchdown of the game and 5th on the year. And the Cowboys add 6 more to their point total, and they're on cruise control right now here in the 4th. Extra point by Blankenship is up and good. And this one was over a while ago as they just add on to that big lead. So after the touchdown, here's Blankenship kicking off. This will be fielded inside the 5. And he won't get this to the 20-yard line as he's down at the 19. The Bengals drive about to get going. Where we stand right now in the fourth quarter, this one pretty much out of reach. And, Charles, I know they're going to be disappointed about several things with this ball game, but the self-inflicted wounds, they've had several turnovers. You would have to think that's going to be something they're going to discuss heavily in the film session in the coming days.
You're absolutely right about that, partner, because they're going to have to sit in that film room and watch every error that they made and figure out how to not do it in the future. And mentally, I think a lot of the guys are already starting to think about, okay, how do we put this behind us and get better for the next time out? This, they'll use as motivation for the rest of the time that they play to hopefully never be in this type of situation again.
This offense so far on third down, just 1 for 5 to this point. Here it's 3rd and 3. Running left, it's Mixon. And he picks up the first before he's taken down at the 29. Orlando Brown, the former Raven, the guilty party. And this third down looking very tough after the holding penalty. 3rd and long. Here's Rodgers throwing quickly to the flat. And they're going to get him down well short of the first as he can only get this to about the 19. So the completion good for just 3. And that'll bring up 4th down. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
Now Rodgers got to have this one. And they hit him as he throws, as this one's going to go straight down to the turf. Incomplete. The Bengals try it, but it doesn't work out. And, boy, possession here turns over with the football already being in the red zone. Now Pollard. He'll get forward for 3 down to the 16-yard line.
Not a big run on the first play of the drive, but that doesn't necessarily mean it was a bad play. Sometimes you're just trying to settle in, get your guys a little bit of contact, and get things moving.
2nd down and 7. They'll run with Pollard. Just a gain of a yard there, and now it'll be 3rd down. Just not a whole lot of room to operate there on that carry.
No, not at all. They did a really nice job staying in their proper places and not allowing any lanes to open up.
Prescott from the gun on 3rd. Open man Lamb. It's complete. And I don't think he got there. No. He's short by maybe a foot. Maybe. Call it 4th and inches.
So much about offense is what you call hidden yardage. You know, you throw the ball to someone, they catch it, and then they can make a big play. You know, they create a play, run after catch. They did a really nice job there of limiting that.
And he'll take it into the end zone for a Cowboy touchdown. Tony Pollard, a 9-yard touchdown run. And the Cowboys' decision to go for it pays off with 6 points. So they only needed a couple of feet there on 4th down, but they got more than that and then some as he takes this into the end zone.
And I love your description right there, right? 4th and short. They got that. No problem. Let's go ahead and get the rest of it. Finish it off in the end zone. Touchdown. Everyone goes away happy on that one.
So after the touchdown, here's Blankenship kicking off. This will be fielded inside the 5. And he'll take it a yard or so past the 20, call it the 21. The Bengals drive about to get going.
We said it at halftime that they would need a nearly perfect second half to erase that deficit that they were facing, CD. But unfortunately, the second half has pretty much been a carbon copy of the first.
Yeah, that early lead was almost insurmountable the way their opponent was playing. And, partner, they do have some good news, though. This one is getting close to being over, and they can try and hit the reset button starting tomorrow.
10 yards there to start the drive, and just enough by about the length of the football for a first down. A handoff, running left, Mixon. And he's got a good gain of 7 up to the 37.
That's a really nice job by them picking up the run blitz and detecting it and blocking it and turning it into a nice run. And a lot of times you think if you blitz a running play, you're going to smother it. But a lot of the blitzers, they come in a little bit high. They don't have great leverage, and they're easily blocked and turned to the side.
630. Inside.
Throwing on 2nd and 3. Rodgers, he's going to float this one deep right side. He's got a man, complete.
And they've got this down to about the 12-yard line.
Well, partner, I'm not sure how this drive's going to end, but how about the way they flip field position there? A nice attacking play that picked up a heck of a chunk of yardage.
A real field flipper there as all of a sudden they've got a first down in the red zone. A handoff to Mixon. And somewhat of a measure of revenge as he's in for the touchdown, but they still trail big time.
He'll take it, but he won't be able to smile about it.
And CD, they just haven't had a whole lot to cheer about here, but it may be cliche, but give them credit for this. They've continued to fight and scratch and claw, and they get the touchdown here in the fourth quarter.
And I'm okay with that cliche, all right? Maybe it'll alleviate the sting a little bit because at least they can look in the mirror and realize they fought all the way through. Horrible game for them, not one they'll want to remember, but at least they'll keep their heads up and have some pride when they leave the stadium.
After the touchdown, McPherson on to kick this one away. Not much leg here. Fields this at the 24-yard line. The Dallas offense here set to begin the drive. Well, they don't really need the points here, Charles, given what we're looking at on the scoreboard, but they've scored on 3 consecutive possessions, 3 consecutive drives, and I'm sure that they would like to keep that streak going here and continuing to pour it on.
And things have gotten that way in the NFL, haven't they, partner? Because in the old days, people would, they'd get off the gas a little bit, right? But now, people continue to accelerate. But we'll see what they decide to do as they come out for this one. But the way this game has gone, they've got to be awfully happy with their execution overall.
And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44.
91 yards rushing for him now as he has been tremendous all day long.
Prescott here to throw.
And just not enough on the throw there. Down around his feet and incomplete. But their passing attack, even though that one was incomplete, has been really sharp in this one. It's resulted in a lot of touchdowns. And it looks like they're not going to stop throwing the football until the very end of this one.
Well, that will certainly make everyone involved on offense pretty happy because that gives them all a chance to pad their stats a bit. But as far as the actual need, you and I both know they can just run this clock out because this one, it was over a long time ago. Partner, in the sportsmanship handbook, there's something to be said for calling the dogs off in a blowout. But these defenders, they also know this is the NFL, and it's their job to stop them, whether they're in the game or they're down by a handful of touchdowns.
Open man, this is Lewis. And he's got another first down as the tackle's going to be made at the Bengals 37. Prescott yet again. He lets this one fly toward the back of the end zone. And it's knocked away and incomplete.
Well, they're up comfortably here, Charles, but that lead certainly not dissuading them from pressing the envelope late. I mean, if anything, with these passes, it's like they're getting more aggressive to try to drive the ball downfield.
And that will certainly lend itself to some post-game questions for that coach. And maybe you and I should attend that press conference and see what he has to say, because someone's going to ask him why he continued to push it. My guess, he didn't like how some of the snaps were run earlier, and he wanted to use that as a chance to clean things up. But he certainly will have some explaining to do.
Here comes the 8th play of the drive, and they need a full 10 yards on 3rd down. Now Prescott. Into a double team, and it's intercepted. Daxton Hill picks it off, and the Bengals are going to take over here at their own 22-yard line. Now they get a 4th quarter pick, a little something to hang their hat on, I guess.
Okay, so let's face it, though. Who's happy about this play? Fantasy guys, right?
Yeah.
The analytics will tell you one thing or another. That's a bad play on one hand, a good play on the other, but it's all about the fantasy points here.
Yeah, because this ball game is over. And now here is another interception. Picked up by Leighton Vander Esch. And the Cowboys are going to take possession of the football. Yet another mistake after the interception there. And gosh, you look up at the scoreboard, they just got to be thinking this one cannot get over fast enough.
It certainly can't. And also what happens when you get this big of a deficit, you're supposed to make all the right throws, right? You're supposed to try and obviously get the ball to your own guys. But being down this big, you also take even more chances. And in this situation, that hasn't paid off for them at all.
On the other sideline, jubilation and laughter. Now the Cowboys going to burn the first of their timeouts. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages. So 2nd and 4 from the 22. Throwing here, Prescott. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete. Well, at this juncture, CD, you normally see teams pack in the passing game. They've got the huge lead. Not them, though. They're still taking their shots.
I remember reading in past history, there's a college football coach in the Hall of Fame whose nickname was Close the Gates of Mercy. He wasn't really big on that. He was big on going ahead and scoring. He's kind of reincarnated right here. We're watching it in front of us.
Prescott looks to throw on first. And give him another 6. It's caught for a touchdown, and the blowout continues.
Things are rocking easy here in the 4th quarter. They've got to feel pretty good about this one. Actually, they've got to feel excellent. Tough loss in the opener. No way they wanted to go 0-2.
I don't want to read too much into it, but psychologically, is there something much bigger about 0-2 than 0-1?
Oh, without a doubt, and here's the biggest one. Guys like you and me, all the media, are going to talk about, well, you know how hard it is to make the playoffs when you start 0-2, and that starts to work its way through a team.
And now they're working towards 1-1. So after the touchdown, here's Blankenship kicking off. It's a short kick taken out beyond the 20. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line. The Bengals drive about to get going. They are just obviously getting shellacked here in this one, Charles. What's the message if you're a coach for this final drive in a lopsided game like this?
For a lot of coaches,
be honest.
Don't forget today. Don't forget what has happened out here.
Yeah, use that as ammo going
Exactly.
forward.
Take a great look at that scoreboard. Realize how poorly everything went for us today. Coaching, playing, the whole deal. And never forget it, because
you're not going to want that feeling.
No, you don't want that feeling again. And who knows? You may meet up with this team again.
On the move to his left. He's going to let it fly. And my goodness, another interception. Picked up by Trayvon Diggs. And the Cowboys force the turnover. They'll take over at their own 27. That one looks like he'll throw here. Taking a deep shot here for Hardman. And it's incomplete. They're still throwing to the very end. But now is over. Well, fans usually love to see scoring, and there was no shortage of it today. What a dominant showing from an offense that was truly playing at an elite level in this contest.
Partner, this game was over a long time ago. And you noticed they did not want to slow down anything. Absolutely a dream scenario for everyone on that offense. And they took advantage of every second. Guaranteed popcorn for everyone in their film session.
So for Dallas, they at least get the win here to earn a split of their first 2 home games. And they will hit the road next week to take on the New York Giants. Meanwhile, for Cincinnati, they'll drop to 0-2. And they'll try and turn things.
It's another one. We got another one. It's her. Who that? Big baby slide through in that drop top. Something by Benz looking cute. That's fine as her and her friends. Big blinks and snatch waist. Yeah, she brought the. Ain't no way somebody daddy ain't gon' give her the spins with her ends. Cause yeah, she did it. She did it again. A few more tracks and this time she bought friends. Big baby on her way up and showed the stairs to a man's. Now salute the general. TGLX got plans. Yeah. Damn, it's the intro? Yes, it's the intro. Damn, this is the intro? Yes, it's the intro.
They don't know what they in for. If it coming like this on the intro, what they here for? If they want the heat, you know who to send for your info. Buy my money like Venmo. If this music don't work out, and all to get it from my ends low. How you feel though? Cause hey, they can't rock with us. Galaxy ain't no stopping this. They ain't try to steal my style. I'm feeling like I just shot it. Can't trust him cause he not my. Cause we worry about getting figures. All my ain't father figures. Just know my quick to pop it.
Damn, it's the intro? Yes, it's the intro. Damn, this is the intro? Yes, it's the intro. Damn, it's the intro? Yes, it's the intro. Damn, this is the intro? Yes, it's the intro.
If God for me, who could be against me? I guess all of that's against me. They the ones stirring up the conflict. They try to make it out like I'm conflicted. East Coast and 6'4's hitting switch. It's not a conflict of interest.
Cut it with the business. West Coast rocking them Timberlands, deep up in them trenches. It's no difference. Neither one play games when swinging for them fences. We want the finer things that's expensive. They hit them either close range or at a distance. If God for me, why bother? I got my game from the Godfather. Top of the food chain, rock bottom. And handle my business when it was my problem. Jeep. Flossing with a gold chain. I got my Turkish rope with matching gold things. Bomber jacket in the winter, it's a cold game. I met some East Coast up in Spokane. Some of the realest in this dope game. I got my curly top looking like special ed. Clean fade on the side, bumping that red head. Clean tags when I ride, ducking the feds. East Coast, they get that bread. You put the, you end up dead. Them West Coast, they leave that spray. And now you got all in your dread head.
If God for me, who could be against me? I guess all of that's against me. They the ones stirring up the conflict. They try to make it out like I'm conflicted.
Still trying to the riches.
East Coast and 6'4's hitting switch. It's not a conflict of interest.
EA Sports coverage of the National Football League is on the air. Today, we've got a Week 6 matchup for you here between the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Cleveland Browns.